It's Sunday and we're in church. I'm preaching a couple of times. Check out my day right here, right now. So it's Sunday, and as per usual when I preach, I'm here in the office and I'm writing up all my notes and preparing. I usually do it this way. It looks very last minute, but I spend the week thinking through the passage and looking at stuff and reading things, and kind of put it all in here and think about it, and other things come into my head. So I'll put it all and bring it all together late on Saturday or Sunday morning, and then go and preach it. It's just the way that I work, and I find now, after doing this for 3.5 years, that this is the how I best prepare. It's not probably the most ideal for some people, but it's good for me. So I'm going to carry on with this, and then you'll come out with me as we go around the church. So it's a really rainy day out there. I forgot my robes. I left them at home. Usually they're here, but doing other services I left them. I took them home to wash, I think. So Powell had to come and bring them, and I ran out and got soaked. So we're preparing, just doing the service with Rose, so she's just speaking with Stuart the organist about what to do and plan, last minute plans. I'm preaching from over there. We got the Advent candles, so we're on number 2. The choir is coming, so this service we have a choir, and it's more traditional with liturgy, so reading words out of a book and hymns. The next service is more contemporary, so over there we'll have a band and a lay person. That means someone who isn't ordained leading the service. So it's 2 really different types of service, but both in their own right beautiful, and worship God in different ways. So I will go prepare, get my sermon up there, read through it to understand, so I can preach it, and then we'll see how we go. Now, John the Baptist can speak to us today in many ways, and as I was preparing for this passage, I was quite shocked that it doesn't become a story of the past, that it becomes relevant for us today, especially during this Advent period. Yes, we have Christ come for the first time, and we are waiting in anticipation of him coming again, but this is the same place as Israel was. And we heard at the end of Malachi, who was the last book in the Old Testament, and that closing of God speaking to Israel for 400 years. 400 years of silence before John came out into the wilderness to preach the good news, the gospel of the repentance and the forgiveness of sins. He is, in a sense, a transitional prophet, going from the old times of the Old Testament, starting the New Testament. And we even hear Jesus saying this himself in Luke 16:16. The law and the prophets were proclaimed until John. Since that time, the good news of the kingdom of God is being preached, and everyone is forcing their way into it. Everyone. I think this is the big thing that was shocking Israel at the time, that now the kingdom of God was open to everyone and not just to Israel. So that is the first service finished. Got my robes on, so this is what I wear for the first service, where we have communion up there, and now everyone is just having coffee. I'm going to get myself a coffee. I'm going to prepare for the next sermon, and chat to a few people here, as we always do. So I will see you in the next sermon. So Advent is upon us, another time of preparation, reflection and anticipation. And in mind of that, and to really put some context into today's sermon, there's this piece that I love about Advent, talk about what Advent symbolises. And I want to read it to you and try to remember as much as you can, because we really need the context. It says, Advent symbolises the present situation of the church in the last days, as God's people wait for the return of Christ in glory to consummate his eternal kingdom. The church is in a similar situation to Israel at the end of the Old Testament in exile, waiting and hoping in prayerful expectation of the coming of the Messiah. Israel looked back to God's past gracious actions on their behalf in leading them out of Egypt in the Exodus, and on this basis they called for God once again to act for them. In the same way, the church during Advent looks back upon Christ's coming in celebration, while at the same time looking forward in eager anticipation to the coming of Christ's kingdom when he returns for his people. In this light, the Advent hymn, O come, Emmanuel, perfectly represents the church's cry during this Advent season. And the words go, O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lonely exile here, until the Son of God appears. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. So while Israel has sung the song in expectation of Christ's first coming, the church now sings the song in commemoration of that first coming, and also in expectation of the second coming in the future. So the service is finished. Eloise is eating a donut. Where did you get a donut? Cheeky girl. So people stand around, chat at the end of the service. So I've just done my sermon, quite a powerful sermon, hard. So now I'm going to go chat to other people before we get off home. So I'm just walking home after the service. It's very different when you're preaching, because you're speaking to people after about many things. So not as much footage of the service. Next week at the 9:30 I'm taking the communion, and then at 11:15 I'm not doing anything. Next week also got our Christingle, so you'll see a bit more of the stuff going on. Just walking home, and there's a little girl biked up with her parents and her sister and said, I love Splash Club, which is something that we do at the local primary school. Thing is, when you walk home without your collar on, the parents don't know who you are or what context it is, but she loves Splash Club, so that's awesome. So I'm going to go home now. We are looking at jobs at the moment, so this afternoon we are going to go to a parish to look at a job there. So I'm going to leave you now. Tomorrow is my day off, so I'll give you a little thought tomorrow, because that's my time with my family, and I'll see you back, apart from tomorrow, back on Tuesday.